So what is an index? Those of you already worked with SQL queries, you should be knowing what is index. Okay, and we have a lot of index types are there. I'm not going to talk about those RDBMS index. Okay, here the index or columns, right, that can be added to the table. So, so which contain the sequential values. For example, you have a data set. In the data set, you don't have any unique key column available. So in that kind of situation, you can go for creating an index. So this is helpful to create the relationship between the tables. Without having a key column, you cannot create a relationship between the tables. So in that kind of situations, this is very much helpful. So typically, the index columns start with either 0 or 1. Okay. The index column command adds a new column to the table. By default, it starts with 0. And again, we have a lot of options. You can specify your own start value, custom start value. And then by using increment, you can specify whatever the value that you wanted to increment. For example, 10 plus 10, right? I want to increment by 10 every year. So usually we start with 1. We never use 0, but in case of any requirement, it is flexible. They've given the option. Power BI desktop, they've given the option. Still, you can go ahead and do it. So let me just open the Power BI desktop. You can go to the transform data. The add column ribbon, you will find the index column. Here, I just go and do something here. Let me see if I can add it. Not sales fact and expenses. Okay, sales by customer. Okay, good. Here I have the customer name, but I don't have the index key column for this. For example, the customer name Baron, it appears more than one time. Okay. So is it the same customer or all the three names refer the single person? Okay. So this is the confusion can happen. So what we do is in that case, we just simply go here. And if these three names refers to three different persons, then how will I find out? So that is where we need some key column. Look here, index column. You need to click on the add column ribbon and the index column and click on the custom. Sorry, not the custom. Start with the simple one, the basic one, the from one. Start create the index value starting from one. You'll create a new column wherein you will find the index value. Look here, the index value, all these things. I just want to drag it here. So I want this one to be the first one. And with this, we can easily make out this baron is different from this baron because of the unique key. So is customer ID is 1, is customer ID is 3, is customer ID is 3. Something like Aadhaar number. Okay, these values. So once you create it here, and what we do is the same key value needs to be used in your transaction table or fact table. Okay. So here what we do is we just customer key. This is one way of doing it. Or if you think this is, we don't want this number to be started from one, you will just click on this one. You can modify it, your starting index. Look here, what I did here on the right side, just beneath this applied steps, we have some added index. And this is the step I already carried out. And just next to that, there is a wheel icon. When I click on it, you can see the starting index and the increment. So if I say the starting index is 100 and increment by 1, and if you see here 100, 101, 102, and if I go back, if I drag and drop here, yeah, so it will add another index here. Yes. So 100, 101. So we can specify the custom values as a starting point, and even the increment also you can customize it with this option. Okay, custom. Supposing you want this one to be start from 0, the same thing you can do it here itself. Added index, you can go here. Starting index is 0 and increment by 1. That is also possible. So many steps, but this is not the right way of doing it. 0, 1, 2, 3. See, unnecessarily so many steps got mentioned. This is to track what we did. Pre-ordered index and added index. So we have added the index at the end. Yes. So these steps are not required. And just go here. Yes, still it remains, right? Add index. Okay, at the end of it, since we have reordered from the end to the first column, we shifted from rear to the first. It's good. So now it shows. Now you understood creating index. It's pretty simple, very easy to do that. But what the painful aspect of this one is transaction table. For example, in the fact table, you wanted to refer the same customer name there. It is painful. Okay, you need to um, do a lookup in your fact table for the customer name. It's very challenging one. So that's the reason why what we do is at the time of data modeling itself, we decide which column we need to use it as a key column or something. But there are some small tables. If you want to create a relationship, then this is the best way of doing it. But it is always recommended creating the key column and the foreign key column, even in the case of SQL Server, right? All the data modeling, everything has to be done first, and then only you need to jump on with doing the data transformation, everything. Some cases, if the table size is small and we want to create some relationship, then you can do it this way. Okay. The next one is we have something else called, though it is not this one. So we have something called enable load and including report refresh. These two options that are available as part of the Power Query editor. Okay. Now we will take a look at, though these two options are not so significant, but when it comes to performance, this is very much helpful. But most of them, they disregard this. Even the dev environment, it takes longer time. For example, here, how many queries are there? 2, 4, 6. If I simply click on file and close and apply, queries metadata loading to load completed. Okay, I think I already did this one in this. I just show you here. So we have an option called, okay, here, when you right click on it, yeah, enable load is there, and okay, everything is there. Merge one is there, enable load, everything is available. I did not deactivate anything. Okay, good. foreign sales too. So these two tables, I have used it to combine the data into a single file, right? The append one query has the data of these two files in it. We combine the data from these two files in the name of append one. Look here, when you click on append one query, on the right side, you will find the source. Next to that, you have the wheel icon. When you click on it, you'll find what tables that you've used it in this query. So in this query, I've used these two files to combine it. So hence, I don't need these two files any longer. Okay, so in that case, what I do is I just simply go ahead and look here. Yeah, that's what I already did it. This one, enable load. Yeah, I will show you now. So why it was not showing us? Okay, here we don't see any other italics. We don't see any other. Append one. We have some kind of italics here. Okay, fine. I just close and apply. When I do close and apply, look here, foreign sales to append one. All these files are getting refreshed, creating connection model. Okay. You have noticed that the foreign sales to and append, these three were getting loaded. Okay. This is a overkill. I have, in this case, it is fine. We have oddly 14 records were there, but here also we have oddly 5 records are there. But in real time scenario, we never work with this small volume of data. We work with at least, right, 100K records, 100,000 records, 100,000 records minimum. We use it. In that case, what will happen is you are using multiple queries. In the real time scenario, you will have to use multiple queries. Let's say you have 10 reasonably 10 dimension tables and 2 fact tables, and in your report you need all these things. So right, apart from this, you have data available in a CSV files. You need to append everything. So in that case, what will happen is you are bombarded with so many queries here. When you apply any steps, when you carry out any data transfer in any specific file, okay, and when you click on the apply, all the files, all the queries will get reloaded again. Look here, the sales by customer. I disable this. Okay. Right. So now if you look at here, the foreign sales, these two files I used it in order to, in this query, right? I combine these two files in this query. Hence, I don't need this any longer. So what I do is I have two options here, including report refresh, and I have another option called enable load. First of all, I don't need these two files because my job is done. I need the data from these two files. I pulled these two files data and combine it and put it in this one. Then why do I need this one? Simply right click on it, enable load, disable this one, uncheck this one. When you uncheck this, it'll it'll open up a warning like this. A warning message. Disable node will remove the table from the report, and any visual that use its columns will be broken. But before doing this, you need to be cautious. Okay, if any one of the visuals you are using this query, it will cause problem. Okay, disabling node will remove the table from the report. Yes. So if you see here, I just so you can see on in the report, I'm talking about the this one, the other thing. So look here, if you see here, this one foreign sales too, it will not appear. So in the report page, it will not appear. So what I do is, yes, I'm okay with that. I just simply uncheck enable load. Fine. I just say okay. Look here, the moment I unchecked the enable load, this one got turned in italics. Similarly, I just do it here, enable load, data loss warning, fine. But still it is there. But I because I did not apply it. Okay. And when you right click on it, you will find that including report refresh also got disabled. Okay. And what I do is I just click on close and apply. Look here, the foreign sales on this side has disappeared, got disappeared. Okay, the any intermediate task is required. So in that case, you can load it, and those tasks that use or those queries you used it for a temporary purpose, you can disable it with enable, uncheck the enable load option, because it's a overkill when you work with 10 dimension tables, two fact tables. When you click and save, what the refresh unnecessarily refreshes everything. Fine. The next one is I just do this one, include in report refresh. I just uncheck it. But before I do this, okay, I just show you here what is happening. When I uncheck this, if I go back and see here, enable load is still checked. That is the difference between enable load and include in report refresh. When you uncheck this one, still this one will be checked. But when you uncheck enable load, this one will get unchecked. Both of them will get unchecked in the case of unchecking the enable load. First, we will see what exactly include in report refresh. So what exactly, look here, I just go back here. We have an option called refresh here in the Power BI desktop, refresh. When you click on it, it will refresh the data. Look here, all the files, sales by customer, expenses, append when, sales fact, everything is getting refreshed. Now we will discuss the scenario. So when can I uncheck the report refresh? When should I use when should I uncheck the enable load? Okay. So when should I um, uncheck the enable load? Like I discussed here. So for example, you are using some queries temporarily. Using that queries, you want to populate the data in another table. So you want to combine those two queries data and put it in another. In that kind of situations, you don't need these two queries any longer. In that case, you can uncheck enable load. It is as simple as that. The next one is the include report option, report refresh option, include in report refresh. So in this case, when you click on the refresh, all the tables will get refreshed unnecessarily. I don't want that to happen. For example, I have a file called customer, dim customer, or dimension product. Let's say dimension product. The product dimension table, in our case, let's assume that hypothetically, in our case, this table will not undergo changes frequently. Once in a while, once in 6 months, once in 3 months only, this table will undergo some changes. Then why should I, refresh it on a daily basis, right? So in that kind of situations, I will just show you. You watch one more time whether dim product is getting refreshed or not. Look here. Let's assume that the product table have um, reasonably 10,000 products are there, and every once in 3 months this table is getting loaded. And if you said look here, dim product, it has 100,000 records. Assume that way, 100,000 records. Every once in 3 months only we launch new products. We are pretty sure. In that kind of situation, it's a kind of a static table. The another example is category, dimensional category dimension, date dimension. These tables are kind of static. It will not undergo changes on a daily basis, even monthly basis, every once in 6 months, rarely it can undergo changes. In that case, why do I need to, this to be refreshed? I want the files, for example, the customer dimension table needs to be refreshed on a daily basis. Every day, new customers can come. So in that kind of situation, my only customer table should get refreshed. So why should I unnecessarily strain my Power BI server? Right? So what I do is I just go here. I just simply go even this one, including report sales, and okay, maybe let it be there, and dim product and product table also, it will not undergo frequent changes. And this one I already disabled it. Yeah, and sales by customer is not required. I uncheck it. And this one also overkill. I don't want that to happen. Sales fact, yeah, it is not required any below, because let's say this is my SQL server, okay, and here you need to remember this. If you have used the direct query mode to connect the table, in that kind of situations, you don't need include in report refresh, because it will query the data directly from your source. Dim customer, this is required. Only the new customers to be refreshed on a daily basis, and some other tables, right? Those tables that are required. The product, it will not undergo frequent changes. If that is the use case, then you can disable including report refresh option. If I click on refresh, append one, dim customer and customer, this is what I want to be refreshed, and merge one also, let it be there. Fine. Did you watch there? Only the table which I enabled it as a including report refresh, only those tables are getting refreshed. Even in the development environment, we work with huge volume of the data. Guys, remember this: if you mistakenly, or if you neglect unchecking, these options, you will end up staying in office forever. Okay, fine, got it. So that is the difference between these two. So when you uncheck enable load, it will not be visible here at all in your report page. In your report page, it will not be visible at all. It will be removed from your report page itself. Okay. And whereas, look here, you remember dim customer. I unchecked the including report refresh option, but still it is visible here. Okay, Prem Kumar, what happened? You joined just now? Okay, no problem. So look here, Dim, you can watch my video. Very simple concept only. I just go here and look here. I just go and uh, enable load. If I click on it, this dim customer will be removed from the model, and here also. Continue. Possible data loss warning. Close and apply. If I go to the model, dim customer, look here, even here, the dim customer table got disappeared. It is not available. So dim product and sales fact and merge one. Okay, only this one is merge one, merge two, append one is there. But the dim customer dimension got removed from here in the report page. So to summarize, the difference between enable load and include in report refreshes, when you uncheck the enable load, it will not be available. It will be removed from your report page, including your visuals. Okay. And when you uncheck the including report refresh, it saves a lot of time, especially in the case of static tables. You don't want that to be refreshed on a daily basis or weekly basis. In that kind of situation, you can uncheck the including report refresh. And also some scenarios, the disabling the enable load, right? So like let's say you have done some kind of so let's say you want to do some kind of data transformation, like you want to combine the data from two queries, and then the result, the output of those two queries should create a new query. Like I've shown you, foreign sales 2. Those two queries you no longer required, because you combine the data using those two queries into another query. So in that kind of situation, you can uncheck the enable load. But be cautious before you uncheck the enable load. You need to check which all visuals that you are using that query. Okay, before you removing this, because in real time scenario we spend reasonably, right, 2 to 3 days to create a report, design everything. That before you deliver the report, if you make any changes like this, right, your report will not work. If you disable something, you need to be cautious before you do all these things. But it saves a lot of time when you do refresh. Only the relevant files will get refreshed. So in the case of import mode, that requires refresh. Remember that. So direct query doesn't require any refresh. In that case, you can simply go and uncheck including report refresh, because it directly queries the data from your source system. Hope you understood the difference between enable load and include and report refresh. In the case of unchecking the report refresh, it will not cause any problem. It will still appear in the fields section. Just beneath the fields pane, you can still see the table. Okay, but enable load, you cannot see it. Unchecking the enable load, you cannot see it. So the next one is we will take a look at the other options, like this one we already discussed, and the next one is the group by in Power Query Editor. So what is group by? Any idea? How many of you, except Satya? Satya, I guess you know what is group by. What is group by in SQL? I guess all of you might have used the group by in your SQL queries. What is group by in SQL? In simple term, right? You using group by, we can present the data in summarized form. Summarized form. What do you mean by summarized form? This is my data set. Look here, this is my data set. So my manager wants a report something like this or something like this. He doesn't want to see the transaction level sales performance. In United States, we can see four different time some transactions happen. So here we can see four transactions for United States and four records. Even for Australia and Germany, we have more than one record or transactions are available. We don't, let's as a manager, we don't want to see transaction level data. We want to get a big picture. So you tell me in United States how much total sales we made. Don't tell me each and every day how much sales we made. Okay, I want the summary or aggregation. Summary is also called as aggregation in the case of business intelligence. Okay, if they might use these two terms interchangeably. Aggregation, summarization. These two terms are seen. And in this case, what happened? Australia, the total sales. Look here, Australia, these two values got added. 24,000 plus 2,000, 26,000, how much? Australia, 28,000. How much? 20. Okay, we have one more record. Okay, and almost 3,000, 27, 28,792. These three records put together, Australia, these three records put together, the total sales is 24,000 plus 2,700 plus 2,092. So this is the value, we are getting it. So we wanted to see the sum of the sales. Similarly, sum of quantity. So 5 plus 2 plus 10, 17. We can see the 17 here. So in this case, we did the aggregation on the sales column by country name. Each country, what is the sales? We did a group by on country. Okay, so it grouped the similar, we say this way, so we group, so in the case of group by, it groups the similar records and then it applies the sum function. So it grouped these four things. In the case of United States, it groups, first it groups behind the scene. Okay, all the United States will be in one group, all the Australian in another group, German in another group, and then it applies the sum here. So here 2500 plus all the values you add it and then give one record. United States, this is the total sales, this is the total units sold. In this case, the group by has happened on country column, and the we applied, so group by says similar countries, you group it. Remember, this is very important. Okay, that's why I'm emphasizing it now. So in the country column, we grouped it. The records got grouped, United States, and then it applied the sum. So that is what is happening. Supposing he is very particular about, and each region wise, country wise, region wise, I need to see the total sales. And if you see here in the United States, there are two records are there. South in region, right? So two regions are there. The same region repeated more than once. He doesn't want to see like this. The United States in South region, what is the total sales? Total is 5 plus 5, 10, and 8, 7, 6, 4. So in that case, it groups the similar rows of country as well as region. And then it applies this one. Okay. And then so these two things will be grouped. Okay, and then within this it does. Okay, so United States South, how much we made here, it will go this level, it will apply this sales. So in this case, what happens right now, this one, sorry, these two are, it groups these two rows, because country by region, we have done the group by, and then Australia and Oceania, it groups this and then it applies the sum. Now you understood the difference between this and the previous one. In this case, it takes into account of both this one, country as well as the region, similar records. Look here, Australia, we have another, right, these three rows are same because country and region are same. And then United States and New Zealand also the same thing. Okay, and United States, East and West is, we have only one record is there, hence it doesn't require any grouping. Okay, it simply gives this one. Okay, it applies some here, applies some here, it applies some here. Since you have only one record, why you need to do grouping all the things, right? Simply apply this. That is how it works. Got it? Grouping the similar rows here, and then it applies the aggregation. So there are two types of aggregation. Aggregate a column by using aggregation function. We have something else called row by aggregate. This is very specific to Power BI. Perform a row operation. If I explain you the theoretical part, you will not be able to understand. I will show you with a demo so that you should be able to understand. Okay. So now I just go to the Power BI desktop and will show you the group by operation here. Here, what I do is I just To do group by, you need to go to Power Query Editor. And here, one second, I just, since that file causes some problem, I just closed it. Okay, now if you go to the transform ribbon, you will find something called group by. Here, I just select the basic one is, let's know, country wise total sales. I just want to see the total sales country wise and the operation. So you have different aggregation functions or summary functions are available. One is sum, average, median, min, max, count rows, and count distinct rows, and all rows. These are the options are available. And the all rows is the one, with that you can perform a row operation. I will show you little later. At this moment, I'm going to select sum on which column? The sales column. I just go and select the sales. I click on OK here. So you can see the unique name of the country here. You will not see the duplicate here. And if you click on the drop down here, you can see the unique name of, right? So it just did this summarization. In United States, so many transactions are there. I know very well about this data, but still it shows only one record for United States. For each country, it shows only one record, but it shows along with that, it displays the total sales. Okay. Also, I wanted to know the units sold. So what should I do? Somehow I missed that one here. So what you can do is you can go back to the right side. I don't know who scribbled here. Satya. Okay. Group rows. Next to that, you click on the wheel icon. You can see that here. So it will take you back here and click on the advanced. Select this one and add aggregation. Total units sold. And here, I just want to see the sum of quantity. And then I'm going to add as a, total number of transactions. Okay, count rows. That's all. And I click on, okay, number of transactions, count rows for each country. We want to see how many number of transactions happen. So United States, this is what the total sales we made, and this many number of units we sold. How many number of transactions happen? How many number of orders we received? It for 4,047. You can see them. Using count rows also you can see that. And if you think you need a breakup for everything, add transaction year table, itemized transaction, something like that. Just this is perform a row operation, all rows. That's all. When you select all rows, it will not. You will not have any option enabled here. Even the case of count rows, it will not, because the count rows itself tells us how many number of transactions are there. So again, you don't need any aggregation function on top of this. Okay, and all rows will give you the breakdown. Okay, if supposing you want to see what what all transactions, okay, what all transactions that belong to the summarized, each summarized value. For the United States, this is the one. When I click on table, continue, it will show you in United States. Look here, all the records are related to United States. It will show you all the detail level information. So what makes up the sales in, how much you can see it. If you, it's kind of a drill down. Okay, this is the drill up top high level. Okay, and if you want to see the detail level, you can say simple example will take very less record. Look here, the transactions, number of transactions we just happened for Republic of Congo. If I click on this, only four transactions, it shows only four records are there in this. In this, if you see here, what is the sales, you can see, this one. So you can see the transaction level data. Okay, if you add all these things, you will get the totals. Look here, for example, in this case, 1821, right? If I click on this one, it will take me back. And what is the Congo? Where is that Congo? Four transaction, I remember that. Yeah, 21. Look here, 21. 21. So if you want to see the detailed, so in that case, you can use perform a row operation in that. Okay. With that, you can see the transaction level detail for the corresponding aggregated value. So this is an aggregated value, total units sold. Okay. So if you want to check why it is 21 only, or if you think, so where, in which transaction we sold more. So in that kind of situation, this is very much helpful. Hope you understood what is group by and how to perform group by. So using group by, you can perform aggregation or summarization. Aggregation is the term is used more frequently in the business intelligence world because all the data analyst will fall under business intelligence. Hence, you should be knowing this term. Okay, I just close and apply. Next, what I do is I just publish this report on cloud. And in cloud, we have something called the fuzzy grouping. I just save this as meaningful thing, fuzzy grouping, so that I can remove all unnecessary things. Okay, let it be there. Just remove this one also, delete from model. See, everything appears very simple here, but once you publish it on cloud, right, so you might encounter some problems. This is my cloud. The moment when I click on, see, since I already signed up with the Power BI Cloud Service. What is Power BI Cloud Service? I just show here. app.powerbi.com. If you go here, okay, and this is your cloud service, app.powerbi.com. And since I already signed up, I'm able to connect here. So this is my cloud service. So what I do is I just simply click on the publish icon. Now it is asking me in the cloud. So on cloud, which workspace you wanted to publish this one. And if you see here the workspaces, big box, demo fold, dev 2, look here, big box, demo fold. It shows this kind of a folder on cloud. In which folder you want to publish it. For example, I just want to say dev sandbox. This report will get published on in this place. And dev sandbox. If I go here and it is yet to publish it. It's still going on publishing this one. PPU Pro license, 37 days left. It's very slow. Earlier, it used to get published. I think he deducted money from my account. Another account, I don't know why it is. Publish. There's something wrong here. 37 days I have it, but still. Okay, okay, let me do one thing. I'll just use some other thing, some other folder. You can display the size of the data file also because I did not upload any bigger files there. At least you can show the size limit, everything there. It is not showing the error occurred. Okay, while attempting to internal server, the remote server returned an error, internal server. There is some problem, their side. Sometimes it happens. If I try it later point, it will work. So there is an option called fuzzy grouping in Power BI cloud service. The same thing. So the look here. So this is my Power Query editor. The same Power Query editor is available on cloud. Okay, same Power Query editor. Or else what I do is, yes, best thing. If he is not allowing me, best what I will do is I will create one workflow. Data flow. We have something called data flow. Usually it will not take this much of time. I have a good net connection also here. Takes it will not take this much of time. Maybe I will give you a demo later point in time how to do how to create a data flow on cloud, which is nothing but your Power Query editor on cloud. There on cloud, how you, also you can do data transformation, everything. But only difference between the Power BI desktop and there are a lot of differences. The specific differences in Power BI desktop, you can do data model design, but on cloud you cannot do it. But data transformations you can do it. Power Query editor is available on cloud. You can do it there. And the dashboard creation, you can do it only on cloud. You cannot do it in your Power BI desktop. And sharing the reports, creating a user, all the things are possible on cloud. Okay, it takes a lot of time. I think something wrong from their side. Usually it will not take this much of time. Okay, look here. Already I published other thing for other batch. AGG sales. This is the one, but still it is not much helpful. No, it takes a lot of time. Okay, let's not spend too much of time. So group by, you understood how to perform group by. So group by on a single column, how to perform group by on more than one column. And also we have seen how to perform aggregation, row operation, how to perform a row operation, and count rows we have seen it. How to find out the total number of transactions, all the things we have seen it. And the next topic is query parameter.